welcome to another episode of Tokyo Reds. We are Liverpool fans in the land of the rising sun, and yeah, this week we've got a lot to get through. Yeah, so we've got 4 games pretty much, haven't we?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got 2 reviews and 2 previews, but then again the previews are the same team twice, so it's kind of cheating. So yeah, a lot to get through. So we're going to kick off with the second to last game played in the Champions League. So first time back in, what was it, 4 years, 3 years?
3 years.
3 years. Well, yeah, good to be back. So yeah, so we kicked off against Sevilla this last week. As you remember, we kind of got our arses handed to us in the Europa League final. Yeah, it was one of them, wasn't it? It started off great and then it went a bit Pete-tong in the second half, and unfortunately we lost. And it could have been that kind of Cinderella finish to Klopp's first season, but
could have been, but
exactly, it's all in the past. It was. I remember that being gutted that season so much because we seemed to be making so much progress, and we got to 2 finals and lost both of them.
We lost both of them, but there was still a lot of progress made. The fact that we beat teams like Dortmund on the way to the final, and that
United as well.
United, yeah, let's not forget that. Over 2 legs as well, United, but
that shit anyway.
But no, it's one of those that it was his first season, and alright, would have been great to get the trophy, but there was progress made, and there was progress made again last season, back in the Champions League. So
exactly, yeah. I mean, it may not feel like it at the moment with our current run, but we have actually been doing better and better with under Klopp. And I remember that going back to the Europa League, it was, he hadn't actually brought anyone in, had he? He was like, he had what Rodgers had and kind of started to change it around, so it was kind of like the signs of a really good manager, wasn't it? It was like really promising. And so yeah, anyway, past is done. Can't change it. Wish we could, but we can't. Speaking of the past, so last week then, Sevilla, score draw. Paul, who's not here today, nailed it though, didn't he?
Yeah, he nailed it.
For all the wrong reasons. I wanted to tell that to him today, but he's not here, so I can't be sure to tell him the next time I see him. But so yeah, it was kind of frustrating in a way, wasn't it? So it was a good game, but yeah, what are your thoughts on?
My thoughts. Okay, obviously we were leading 2-1. Firmino scores the pen. 3-1 would have been great. Could have got the 3 points. It's our first game back. A defeat, like any time Liverpool lose, I feel physically sick. So to draw, first game, that's our toughest opponent in the group, as far as I'm concerned. Maribor, Spartak Moscow. As long as we win those games, I still think we'll be okay. So yeah, of course, on the night it's gutting, but we have to look at the bigger picture. We've outplayed probably the toughest opponent in the group. We've been unlucky. Overall, I take a draw. Not what I want, but I'd take it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there as well. It's like unlucky is the word. If we were absolutely battered, I remember when we played Real Madrid a few years back.
Yeah.
And that was just like a real eye opener to how bad we actually were. Yeah. And whereas this time we've come back and it's not. I think we're ready for it now. I think it was good to. We've had that experience in the Europa League now with these younger guys, and now I think that it's about time they step up their game.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So let's talk about the game then. So yeah. So first off, Sevilla score. So thoughts on the goal?
Lovren. It's one of those. In fact, I wouldn't blame any of defender. No one else did anything wrong. Karius, can't blame him. I mean, the ball's been played through, and I don't know what's happened to his decision making, or if he's just got bad coordination in that position. I don't know what's happened, but it's just painful because we've talked about it already this season. We dominate these games, but then we gift goals to the opposition. And in fairness to Sevilla, they took their chance. They did a ball across goal, and yeah, their man's in the right position. Lovren slip if he clears that earlier. It doesn't happen. Kind of almost reminiscent of John Arnorisa, I think, against Chelsea in the Champions League when he just couldn't
So
clear
you're
it.
getting Hoofed into the back of his own net.
Yeah, right, okay.
No,
I retracted, but...
No, you are right. It's kind of just... Yeah, it's just those low-driven crosses that...
Yeah, low-driven cross, and... I mean, when it's a low-driven cross, the Sevilla player, he's so close to goal, Karius hasn't got a chance. All he needs to do is put it in. Literally, the pace on the ball, all he needs to do is pass it into the goal. Not ideal, but we came back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're hard to like defend against as well, because it always comes to mind. Do you remember Torre?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, how does that even happen? You know what I mean? Mad bastard. But yeah, I think a lot of people have blamed Lovren for this, and yeah, he is at fault. You know, he's not really in the exact position where it should be. But if you watch it back, Chan as well, he just like gingerly jogs back, and then he doesn't really make up his mind to get back, and I think that's been, you know, Chan's come on leaps and bounds in the last year or so, but that's one of his biggest kind of follies, I think, is getting back. Like, he's so bad at tracking back and, you know, finding the right places to not even if you're going to make a tackle, but just get in the way.
Yeah.
So he's really bad at just reading defensive lines and stuff like that. So yeah, it was bad. But like I say, Karius couldn't do anything. It's when it's that close. You know, it's not you can do. But so yeah. Anyway, we bounced back shortly after. Good goal, right? So the play in that goal was amazing. Yeah. So it was, what was it? It was Henderson to Moreno, then
Moreno first, then he does the 1-2 with Henderson, but he does it literally Henderson one touch, Moreno just. Sorry.
No, you're right. Sorry, you explain it.
No, just yeah, it's Henderson and Moreno 1-2. Moreno has the ball. He's outside the box. He looks at Hendo as if, right, give me a 1-2. Pass it to him. Henderson one touch. Moreno gets past the defender. He's got space. Cross. Firmino, really, really good to see. Firmino just, yeah, he gets the touch that's necessary, puts past the keeper. 1-1. We're back in it, and it's, in fairness, okay, Firmino scores the goal, but that worked by Moreno because he gets more than enough criticism. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, go far.
His work rate recently and like his play, he looks like he's an important player for us again, and he looks like he's confident too. Yeah,
I thought he had a really good game, to be honest with you. Yeah, a lot of our plays came from that left channel, you know, from Mane, Chan, and from him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if that was part of the tactics. Maybe they're really weak on the left, but everything we seem to do seemed to be directed down that channel, and you know, Chan had a few shots from there, but Moreno kept on getting to really good positions, finding good space, and putting in quite a lot of crosses. And obviously, yeah, we get the goal again. Another low-driven cross. It's kind of maybe it's not as bad as our one that we conceded. Like bad as in, you know, they defended badly. It was just, yeah, it was one of them. So the second goal, yeah, a bit of a screamer.
Screamer with deflection, but
the best type of screamers. So yeah, the second goal. So they were claiming it was some sort of foul or whatnot. Do you think they had just cause, or?
I can understand why they would call for the foul, but in my opinion, that's 50-50. That's just 50-50, that one. I've seen them go either way. I'm going to say it wasn't a foul, but I can see why they call for it. But I've watched the replay back, and it looks like Salah does actually win the ball first. But of course, when you win the ball and you take a player out like that, it can look a bit nasty. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it didn't look great, but who cares? I don't care. You know, it's just, you do that every week. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the deflection, wasn't it? I mean, the goalkeeper goes down, doesn't he? Because he thinks it's going to be along the ground, and it was kind of. It must be really horrible. It's those type of goals are really horrible to watch for home supporters because everything's happening in slow motion. It's like you can see it going in, but you know, you just like maybe it won't go in, and then
the keeper gets up in time if one of their players just sprints back to the line. But
exactly, yeah. But you've got enough time to think of all these, and then it goes in. So that was 2-1 then at that point, wasn't it?
that was 2-1, and I want to say with Salah, like the amount of goals he scored already. I think 5 goals, is it?
Something like that. I've lost count.
Me too. Like he seems to be scoring almost every other match, or almost every match. And I will say to him, like, of course, that's not his most spectacular goal, but it's that kind of that work rate, that reminds me of like the Klopp style, like that kind of work ethic, the gegenpressing, the idea of you put pressure on the other team. Okay, that's not going to be, it's not going to be the prettiest goal in the world, but ultimately you put the pressure on it, it will come. It will come. So
I think he's a breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. He's so attack minded, so he's always on the attack, and his positioning is really good. It's like his tactical awareness, like how quickly he's like adjusted to like Firmino, Mane.
Yeah.
Because like that front three is always like interchanging to find space, and it seems like he's another bargain, really. If you're considering like the market at the moment, and we've got Mane for what was like 30 million,
30 million,
something like that, 2 million or whatever, and Salah's, that's similar, right? It's like 35 million, something like that.
About that, I think 35 million would have rise to 40.
Yeah, probably, with add-ons and whatnot. So Mane, the penalty, do you think it was a Stonewall penalty?
Yeah. I think it was really obvious. Couldn't be more obvious. Definitely a penalty, 100%.
No, it was ridiculous. Wasn't it? He was like trying to bomb him or something like that in the game. It was, like he manages, he fouls him twice basically. It should be 2 penalties if it's anything, but he fouls him, and then he just like trying to rip his trousers off or something like that. It's just, hands are all over him, goes down, gets the penalty. But then the penalty itself.
In fairness to Firmino though, that's what I'd say. It's the post, keeper's gone the wrong way, but of course I heard in the commentary they're like, and he had the whole of that side to aim at. Yeah, but he doesn't know the keeper's going to go that way, does he? Like if that was the case, of course he wouldn't. You just tap it in, but he's just unlucky. I mean, it's one of those, you hit the post. It's pretty much as close you can be to getting the penalty on target. Just unlucky. Unlucky again. And Firmino's a great player. I think what he's done this season in terms of assists and goals and just his general performances, he's unlucky.
For me, like with penalties, do you find that if Milner isn't on the pitch, there's just no confidence in any of our penalty takers? It reminds me that, again, the Carling Cup game, Carling Cup final.
Oh yeah.
When it was against Man City, and then nobody seemed to have any kind of, no one didn't have that fear of going up for penalties. Everyone was just, it seemed like we'd have like our defenders, didn't like Mignolet take a penalty or something like that?
He did, yeah.
That was Lovren, wasn't it?
No, yeah, Lovren.
And it was like, why, I'm sure maybe he's a good penalty taker, but at the same time, I don't know, for me with penalties, if Milner isn't on the pitch, I don't, maybe just because he takes all the penalties, that's probably where it comes from.
I think that's what it can be though, like any team you have you have a player who is your penalty taker, and then it's like, whoa, hang on, they're not on the pitch, who's going to do this? It kind of reminds me of the years when Danny Murphy was our penalty taker. I look like Murphy, if you're looking for a double make, always game. But like with Murphy, he would, I think he was almost 100% for us. I think almost every penalty he took a couple at Old Trafford as well, but every penalty he took, he'd always score. And apparently he just enjoyed them. It was like Michael Owen, I mean, don't want to slate him too much, but like, I remember being Wimbledon away years ago, we were 1-0 down, Owen stepped up, and he just looked so nervous, he didn't enjoy penalties. Apparently that's a big thing, like, some of the best penalty takers say, well, I actually enjoy them, I get a penalty, I'm like, kind of mind games with the keeper, where am I going to put it? They enjoy it. Whereas the players, like, I'm kind of nervous about this. And I'll be honest, I unfortunately fall into the latter category. I get really nervous when I'm taking it and there's a big audience. If no one's watching, fine, but when there's an audience, just...
Yeah, it's so much riding on it as well, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, there's so much riding on it. But in the case of Milner, he's so composed. He doesn't look like anything's bothering him. It's like, yeah, no problem. Whereas Firmino, I think the pressure, especially because it is our first match back in the Champions League, we're at Anfield, you're in front of your home fans, it's a lot of pressure at that point. So it's unlucky though.
Yeah, it is, and it's easy to say, oh, if we scored, we would have won the game. But at the time, we were winning the game, so it's all hindsight, isn't it? So yeah, that was pretty much the end of the first half. Then, not really too much to talk about. I think Moreno gets a yellow card. That's about it, really. So yeah, we go into the second half then. So yeah, we have loads of chances, plenty of chances, but there's nothing on the end of it, is it?
Yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, we completely outplayed them. This is a side who did us, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago in the final. In that second half, they completely controlled the game. And that's the thing, it shows, for me, it just shows how far we've gone. That we got outplayed by them and lost 3-1, and now we've drawn 2-2 with the same team. And we're feeling gutted not to have won.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it was one of them where I don't think that the score reflects the game.
No, not at all.
I think we did so much. I just think we played so much better than them, and I'll get onto the stats a bit later. But it was just frustrating. I think that's been the last few weeks of us. It's just really frustrating. It's not as bad as like January last year.
No, not at all.
Because even though we lost to City, it's not. You can see the improvements and stuff like that have happened between that time. So yeah, it wasn't too good. But yeah, towards the end of the game, then they obviously score. So it's 2-2. So their goal. What was thoughts on their goal? Was it lucky? Bad defending? Both?
Bad defending. It was bad defending. Again, that's one. Karius. The things with Karius, he doesn't have much to do in the game, and again, I've played goalkeeper before, and it's one of those a keeper. I would say the more shots you have at you, once you get that first save, you're ready, you're warmed up, you're confident. But unfortunately, when you pretty much have nothing to do, and then out of the blue, whoa, heck, he's 1-on-1 with me. You're almost just like a spectator, and then hang on, what? And it just happened so quickly. So I don't blame Karius, but one thing that's really frustrating me is the fact that's gone down the middle. I feel like maybe we just need to be tighter, push them out to the wings. Okay, push them out to the wings. Of course, then they're crossing it in. But yeah, the fact that they've just come at us down the middle, and then he gets a 1-on-1 with Karius. Just I can't remember the players. Was it? Yeah, no, Yedda got the first goal. I can't remember the second.
No, me neither.
No, I'm not. I don't want to remember, but
yeah. It's to me, it does take a lucky bounce off him. But you're right. It does, even though it takes that bounce off him and goes just still kind of plays through the middle too. It's reminiscent of the City game, where I think that's where a lot of our defensive woes are coming from.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Where we're still too spread out in the last 10 minutes of the game, whereas it's 2-1, right? If we concede a goal, we don't have to be on the back foot, but it's people just start to compact and push out in the wing, because we've got the likes of Matip and was it Clapham in that game? No, was it Lovren?
No, Lovren.
Yeah, it was Lovren, sorry, wasn't it? But they're not bad in the air, but they're quite tall, and Sevilla's that kind of atypical Spanish team that likes to play really beautiful football on the floor, but they didn't seem to put any crosses in. Everything was just going through the middle. But yeah, so they scored and then finished 2-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's one of them. It's early days. There's still 4 more games to go. No, more than that. Five more games to go. Sorry. And the other 2 are, touch wood,
Yeah.
not as impressive as Sevilla.
No, I mean, I watched brief highlights of Maribor and Spartak Moscow. No disrespect to either side, but I don't fear either side that much.
No, I mean, unless they just start. Yeah, it's okay, don't worry. Unless it's, they've been watching a lot of Burnley games or West Brom games. I don't really think. Yeah, it's going to be too much, because it's Champions League. You have to go for it.
Yeah.
You can't really just sit back in those games because you don't qualify. You wouldn't even qualify for Europa League if you're just playing for draws, right? So every team's got to go for it. So yeah, just to finish on this Seville game, the manager was sent off. Do you think right or wrong? Should he be sent off?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
what a knobhead, like.
It just, why would you do that? And it's provocative. It's provocative. It's antagonistic. You know, the ball comes to him, and Gomez sort of kind of have it back, and he just throws it away from him. Just like, why would you do that?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's petty, and yeah, there was no need. And Gomez, in terms like he didn't do anything to antagonise the Seville manager. He just went, "Can you give me the ball back?" And
yeah, exactly. And,
ridiculous.
it wasn't like he was playing dirty throughout the game. I mean, he gets sent off in the end. We know that.
He does, but it's one of those. He got sent off for kind of two non-violent offences. You know, you're going to grab someone's shirt, but he's not. You know, it's not like he's gone in 2-footed or anything. Or
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's but it is what it is. They're clamping down. It seems on like mild misconducts now. You know, it seems to. I don't know whether it's good or bad. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, and at the weekend, of course, Burnley came to Anfield. Sean Dyche's Claret and Blue Army. Yeah, they came and they held us to a pretty frustrating 1-1 draw. Obviously, we wanted to get back to winning ways after the City game. That has kind of got in, but you know what? Just to throw in on Burnley, they'd won at Stamford Bridge this season. They drew at Wembley against Tottenham. They've drew at Anfield. John, what are your overall thoughts before we talk about the game? Before we get into the stats, do you feel this was a real missed opportunity for Liverpool? We had to get back to winning ways, or do you feel like Burnley are just that well organised?
It's both really. It's one of them. Like if we've got ambitions of top 4, like I think our objective for this season was to strengthen our defence and learn how to break down these teams. You know, that was our biggest kind of Achilles heel last year, was breaking down the lower league opposition.
Yeah.
You know, the way to get a result from Anfield last year was just, you know, compact the midfield, bring everyone back. That's it. You're gonna get a point. So it's frustrating that it's still happening, but there's a lot of positive signs from the game. You know, I feel again like the Seville game. It was like a score draw kind of complemented them, because it was, you know, we'll get onto it, but it was just a mistake by their half and by us. You know, it was defensive errors, and then I suppose that's all goals. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to get philosophical here, but yeah. So yeah, I think it was important that it's important that we need to win soon, because we haven't won in 3 games now. I mean, we're not as bad as Everton, but you know, we're getting there. You know what I mean? I'd say, sorry, just one quick thing there. I'd say a positive is you can see the wins coming.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's not like, it's frustrating because we should be winning. It's not frustrating because we can't seem to, you know what I mean? It sounds almost like a paradox, right? But, you know, we're creating enough chances, it's just not going in. Whereas before we were creating no chances and nothing was going in equally, you know what I mean? So there are positives to take away from it.
And I'm glad you mentioned that there are positives, because I mean, an obvious positive early on is, okay, we have conceded, we've gone 1-0 down, we'll talk about the goal in a sec, we've gone 1-0 down, but within 3 minutes we've got it back to 1-1. You never know if that's 1-0 for X amount of time. You know, that would have been horrible. Again, I mentioned it, but if teams get a lead and then they defend and we just can't break them down, we're actually, well, yeah, it becomes more frustrating. We're chasing the equaliser for that long. So we did come back in. Again, overall with the Burnley game, of course, got it that we didn't win. But you know what, exactly like you say, you put it really well when you said it's frustrating because we should be winning. But again, like Seville, we've been the better team. We've controlled the game. We dictated the game to them. Yeah, unfortunately, we just couldn't get the win. But onto the goals. They take the lead. I think it's 25 minutes in. Is it bad defending? Is it a good goal from them?
It's a good goal. It's outside the box, I think. Or just on the edge.
Inside.
Yeah.
Maybe just inside.
You can't take anything away from Cook.
Yeah.
Is it him who scores? I don't know. Anyway, so who cares? But yeah, it's one of them where I think Klavan. So the ball comes in, doesn't it? Matip he misses it, which it is what it is. But Klavan's right behind him, and nobody really makes any contact with the player or the ball, and so I forget the Burnley player, but he can cross it back, or he can pass it back to his teammate, slots it in, But the thing is, like with having Klavan and Matip together on one player, this guy gets his free space. Chan doesn't, like we said in that before, Chan doesn't get back at all. Robinson can't cover that ground quick enough, so it's a case of like miscommunication and just letting people like losing their man basically.
Pretty much.
It's probably supposed to be Klavan's man maybe, but he's maybe nervous or something like that, and yeah, it should be more communication between the back three, I think, as well. Because even though the goalkeeper should be making it aware that there's space here or something like that.
It does seem that way. It does seem like, I don't want to take too much away from Burnley, because in fairness to Burnley, that's a really good finish. I think he's just inside the box, one touch, side footage, right in the bottom corner. Again, Karius, I don't think you can blame him there. Someone's got a free shot on goal from that range. Yeah, I don't think Karius can be blamed. But it just in terms of our defending, like you put it well again when you said like it just seems like there's miscommunication. No one's kind of saying, "Oh, it's mine. I'm calling for it." Maybe Karius should have had a word, but it does seem like we've got these defenders who I think all of them as individuals are good players, but they don't seem to communicate well, or maybe there's no leadership at the back.
Yeah,
that seems to be a problem.
Maybe it's both, to be honest with you, because I think especially in defending, it's communication's so critical, isn't it? Because you need to, you can't see what's coming behind you.
No.
And you need to have your teammates either in those positions, or at least telling you, get back, he's going to be there and mark him. So you just need to be aware of everything. But of course you're one man, you can't be. So it's like integral, and we just don't seem to be able to do it recently. But yeah, it's frustrating. But like you say, 3 minutes later.
3 minutes, and that's the thing. We equalised that quickly. I'll be very honest. I thought once we equalised, we're just going to go on and hammer them now. And honestly, folks, I feel like when you get that first goal, it lifts us. All of a sudden, they realise they're not invincible at the back. In fairness, pretty good goal. I think Chan plays a ball from probably like this, just inside their half, over their defence. Salah chests it, bounces down. He has one man behind him, another man coming on him, and he just turns literally I think it's first touch, is it chest and then left foot? Inside, near post to the keeper no chance, takes it very quickly, very good goal, very good reaction. What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, it was a good goal. To be fair, it was coming though from Salah. Salah had a beast of a game, I thought.
He's great, isn't he?
Yeah. He's finding the right positions. He was unlucky with his header. It was a bit high, but even like his little trickery in the box, where he's so like even with his feet, he's really quick with his feet. He does like a few tricks where he seems to spin it around himself, and then he doesn't get a shot away. But you think, God, give him half a chance, and he's going to score, or at least have a shot. It was a good goal, but it was just frustrating. Because at least then, like when we scored, that's it. It's back on even grounds. It's just reset basically the game. Pretty much,
yeah. Pretty much. Then I will say Salah, I think 5 goals now, and we've, I think this season he's going to be a real hit for us. And back to the game. I mean, is it a case that Burnley defended really well, or is it a case that we should have worked harder to break them down? We didn't create enough that was clear cut. I mean, something that comes to mind, Coutinho was starting again. It's the first time he started in the Premier League this season for us. He's miraculously recovered from this back injury after training with Brazil. So maybe, apparently Klein's got a back injury, maybe next time Brazil, you can sort that out for him, maybe send him off. But yeah, Coutinho, almost reminiscent of last season at Turf Moor, where we've dominated possession, we haven't won. He had a lot of long shots. If you're testing the keeper from that range, fair enough, but some of them are going into the upper tier at the Anfield Road end. So what are your thoughts? I mean, not just Coutinho, the team in general.
I think what you've got to take into consideration is there was a hell of a lot of changes in that game. From
was it 7?
Yeah, exactly. I think I was saying that in maybe the preview was just there's going to be a few changes because just the amount of games we've got in these next few weeks, it's almost like 2 games a week now, isn't it?
Pretty much, and that's the whole thing about being Champions League, though, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's you need depth in your squad, and so yeah, we had. So there's a lot of changes. So a lot of these players haven't played with each other before. Sturridge is trying to find his feet again. I thought he had an alright game, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Maybe what made him the player he was at his speed, maybe that's not quite there as much. And I don't really think he plays the false 9 as well as Firmino does.
Agreed.
So he is like an out and out striker, and so like the tactics are just a bit different, aren't they? But it's like the mentality is just different, and I like Milner, but he's not Wijnaldum.
No, he's
He's
not.
not Henderson. But so yeah, so it's like it's one of them where there's a lot of. Again, that's why it's frustrating because we haven't got our best team out there, so we can't really condemn the team too much, if you know what I mean.
No, you've hit the nail on the head there in terms of Milner. He's a good player, but like when you got Van Alden, Chan, I would argue Henderson, the link up play with the attack and also the pace they have. Milner, I really like him. I think he was brought in for this game because it's Burnley, and like the physicality they're going to have. They are going to be more aggressive. So I felt maybe he's the man for it. Almost it's a RoboCop coming up against the Burnley players. So I can see why he's been picked, but again, probably not our best 11. And again, someone like Moreno, I really like Robinson, really, really good player, but I think maybe he would have been more effective when you got like Moreno, Salah. But it is what it is, and it's one of those with Burnley. It's got him, but again, we haven't lost. We are actually still playing pretty well. I think other teams that we play, I think we are going to break down. I think that's just a matter of time before we start breaking teams down.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just it's this whole rotation thing, isn't it? That's one of the drawbacks.
Yeah.
Being in all these competitions, you need to rotate your team, and the team doesn't play with each other every week. They don't know the strengths and weaknesses of each other, so you've got to take all that into consideration as well. So this isn't like if Klopp had his way, this wouldn't be his first choice.
No.
But he's got to do what he can, and yeah. So, do you think it's time for Klopp to go though? That's a lot that's been doing the rounds.
Yeah, I've noticed that these people on social media, honestly, just rewind to Brendan Rodgers, rewind to Roy Hodgson. That's what I'd say to them. And it's this early in the season, with 5 points off Man United and Man City. It's not that much. I think we're either level on points or still above Arsenal and Tottenham. It's so early on. And I normally don't look at the Premier League table until it's 10 games in. Until you say, right, after 10 games and maybe it's starting to take shape, but it's so early on. And it just reminds you as well, all these people talking about, the title's definitely going to go to City or United. This time last
every year.
They do.
I said that last year as well.
Ever since the BBC moved their headquarters up to Manchester and they'd moved from West London, all of a sudden it's a love affair with Manchester. If my memory serves me well, Man City were actually on 15 points at this stage last season. They'd won the first 5 games. It's early days. It's just early days.
Yeah, it's easier to get people not excited when a team wins like 4-0, 6-0. Like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to win. You know what I mean? it's just easier to say that, isn't it? I suppose.
And in the case of like United and Everton, I mean, United were 1-0 up for most of that match. What happened in the in the last 10 minutes was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, again, that's one we talk about our games not being a fair reflection, but yeah, really not. But anyway, so back to Liverpool. Sorry, guys, digressed a bit there. No, back to Liverpool.
Hair in my mouth. What are yours?
I will say, like, regarding the Burnley game, it's annoying, but they frustrated Tottenham. They actually got a 1-1 draw away at Tottenham. Last minute they've equalised. They won at Stamford Bridge. They're just a very organised unit. It's got in, but we have to go to the next game. That's
the thing, isn't it? It's like those teams are. That's how you get results, isn't it? Against, if you're the lower league opposition, you get. If you're well organised, you stick to your game plan. You can get you don't. It's not necessarily you're going to lose. But yeah, that's just what happens with a lot of these teams is. They stick to the game plan and then they concede and then that's it, they fall apart.
Yeah.
Whereas, fair enough to Sean Dyche, like his team are very kind of motivated and very confident in their like system.
Yeah.
And when they conceded their goal, they didn't really faze them. So you've got to give them credit, like I think.
No, that's the thing. You've got to give credit where it's due. And I mean, they went to Old Trafford last year and they drew 0-0. That's the thing. Burnley, it's one of those I saw people kind of overreacting. It's like they know if they play football, they're going to get taken apart. They're going to get hammered. Their fans are paying probably like 50 quid or some rent. They're doing the trip from Lancashire. From Lancashire to Merseyside. It's not the biggest trip, but sorry, but they're paying good money. He doesn't want his fans to see them get hammered, but 4-0, 6-0 every week. So yeah, every one of their players, there's a system there. I think everyone knows their role as well, which is really key. They have a very good keeper too. Credit there. They know their role. They keep to it, and in fairness, they do deserve credit. As annoying as that is for us, but they do. They do it.
It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but guys, on to next game though.
Well, but before we go there, I was just going to say, who do you think's the man of the match then? Who would you give man of the match for Burnley?
Salah. He was unlucky, but Salah would be a standout just because he got the goal and he did try to make things happen. I thought Sturridge had a good game, but like I say, he doesn't. He's not as good in that role as Firmino, but Salah for me. How about you?
Yeah, it'd be Salah. I think Salah's been our star performer for the last few games. Obviously Mane's really good, but because he's new and whatnot, it's so impressive how easily he's come into the team and just made it like that position his own. I know he doesn't have a lot of competition in that style of play, but he really has. He's really, really done well. I think so. I'd go for him. Just something as well, like, to put things in perspective, just some stats from like the last two games, right? So like overall, the Burnley game, 71% possession, 35 shots, 9 on target, versus 28% possession for Burnley, 5 shots on top, 5 shots, 4 on target. So it's not that we're playing badly or anything like that. Again, Seville, 49% possession, 24 shots, 7 on target. And then there's 7 shots, 2 on target. So they score 100% conversion rate. When it's on target. So it's not that we're playing. It's not that we're playing badly. We're just not converting it. And that was. To be fair, even with Rodgers, I remember his first season. That was the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We hit the post like the record amount of times that season.
Dalglish as well.
Yeah.
Dalglish, we were dominating matches, but.
Yeah, so it's not, you've got to take the good with the bad, right? You can't be like, something needs to change. So yeah, we need to start putting these shots into the goal, but sometimes it's just not your day.
Yeah.
It's like, look at like Frank de Boer as well. Like he was a great manager, but it's mad that like Crystal Palace didn't score a goal
They didn't score a goal. Similar happened at Inter Milan.
Mm.
He was out at Inter Milan very quick. He's just unlucky. Well, sorry, he's unlucky, but yeah. But then Hudson's come in and they still haven't scored a goal. They've lost 1-0. So
Yeah, the Hodge.
the Hodge.
Yeah, so this week then, looking into the future, 2 games, same team, twice. So this is going to be quite short-lived, I'm afraid. So Leicester. So last season, we had a bit of a mixed tale of 2 halves, wasn't it, really, with them. So it was, what was it, 4?
We beat them 4-1 at Anfield. Very convincing display. Then we lost 3-1 away. Horrible display.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of piss poor, wasn't it? It was their first game after the Ranieri got sacked, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Somehow they all start playing football again.
Well, when you got a manager called Shakespeare and flipping heck, like.
Yeah. It was one of them, wasn't it? It was horrible to watch that. Scumbags. But to be fair, he guided them to their first title, right? And it was just horrible because you could see they did that on purpose. It was kind of like almost like Mourinho as well. But I don't really like Mourinho, so it doesn't matter.
It was one of those. I think that's when all of a sudden Leicester's players, their popularity, it went almost like hero to villains.
Mm.
It's like, you did that to Ranieri. Like he was this great manager. He was the Tinkerman. He was so well liked. Other teams wanted them to win the league, and then all of a sudden, the players, Ranieri's been sacked. Let's go out and play this amazing game, almost similar to what they'd done when they won the Premier League. Go out and beat us 3-1. Just like, well.
Yeah, right. It was horrible, wasn't it? So we got them in the Calamile Ocean Cup, whatever it's called, Cadbury's Cup,
EFL Cup, League Cup.
So obviously, we're pretty short on time for this last bit. But so, do you think there'd be a lot of changes for this game? The EFL.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you made the point in the last video with the Premier League and Champions League, 2 games a week. The amount of rotation that's gone on. I was reading this morning Danny Ward might be starting tonight, which, let's be honest, like, Karius is playing Champions League, Mignolet's number 1 in the Premier League, so Ward, this is like his only chance.
Yeah.
So if anything, that's a good motivator to say, by the way, Ward, until the FA Cup, you might not be playing again, so you
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? I'd be well happy if it was just like Solanke, Woodburn up front.
Yeah.
And Gruitch, and then I just put all the reserves on and just tell maybe Gruitch just to boot it in his own their own net, because I think it's with the Carling Cup. It's like the AFL, whatever it's called. It's like when we weren't in the Champions League, I didn't care that much. Now that we are in the Champions League, I care even less. So it's still a cup at the end of the day. If we win it, that's great. But priority is the league.
Priorities.
It's 2 cups.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I kind of look at this and I think, you know what? I'll be happy if we win, but I don't want us to use our best players to win it. Because that's one of those, like, Klopp, he still hasn't got a trophy. If we start to kind of do well in the competition, you know what, okay, like, get to semis, then let's start to take it really seriously. But at this stage, it's great, like, say, Woodburn, Solanke, Ward and goal. That's brilliant. Definitely give those guys a run out. But, yeah, even give Markovic, if he's still there.
Oh, yeah,
give him a run out. Give us his chance. Why did we keep him? But, yeah, ultimately, don't play the best players. Not with the Champions League and Premier League.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Chamberlain getting a start as well. But, yeah, don't play the best ones. So then at the weekend, we've got Leicester again.
Away again,
yeah.
Is it worth going back to Melbourne?
No, yeah. Might as well just find some field or something like that somewhere to do some training.
Ask if we can borrow that stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why you're not using it. So we've got to play them again. So that will be a completely different game, won't it? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
So what type of what do you expect from Leicester first and foremost? They've lost their talisman midfielder for 40 million. If someone was going to go for 40 million in that team, the last person I thought it'd be would be Drinkwater.
Me too. I'm kind of I'm still gobsmacked at that.
Yeah.
But no, I
Sure he is too.
in fairness, less like what I expect. I think they're not to be underestimated. Look at their matches this season. I think they lost 2-1 at home to Chelsea. They lost 2-0 at Old Trafford. They were unlucky. They only lost 4-3 at the Emirates. They didn't lose that badly against anyone. And then the matches they've won, it's kind of as good as you could expect from them at this stage of the season. Vardy's still a threat. Vardy, I think he's already on 4 goals this season. They do still have danger men. I imagine they'll play fairly defensive. They'll kind of play to their strengths and try to play to our weaknesses, so they'll be very compact. But they'll probably try and get us at aerial play, their counter-attacks, that sort of thing. Like when they won the league, I imagine they'll do that. They're not to be underestimated. But I think we've got Spartak Moscow in the week after this. So I'm thinking I'm thinking we will kind of put our strongest side out. Because I imagine, not just like Spartak Moscow, we probably could rest a couple of players. Really hope that doesn't come back to haunt me, those words. But
yeah, hopefully that'll be the case, right? I mean, because it's one of them. Even though we've got to go to Spartak Moscow, I really want us to kind of win those games, like try and win as many Champions League, qualify as early as possible. Then we can just send the kids on tour.
But at the same time, because we didn't beat Burnley, because we lost at City, it's like actually, we haven't won since the Arsenal game now. So it's kind of like, we really need to go out and win this. There's a lot of pressure there. So I'd say, start Salah, I was about to say Mane, start Salah, Sturridge and Firmino, go attacking, rest Milner for Spartak Moscow. And just go really attacking at them.
That's the thing with Mane gone now is at least we've got him now in the Champions League. So he's well rested and stuff. So with Spartak Moscow, we've still got Mane. And he's like having 2 strikers on the pitch or something like that. So he's definitely worth his weight in gold. What do you think the score will be then first for the Carling Cup?
It's alright. Yeah. League Cup, yeah. I personally think we'll win, actually. I think Woodburn, Solanke, because I imagine they will start. Ward's actually a really good keeper. I mean, he's third choice, but he's a really good keeper. Yeah. I imagine we'll go there and, I think we'll have too much for them. They've got no European commitment, so I imagine that they'll probably play a strong side, but they still want to do well in the Premier League, so we might get a slightly weaker Leicester as well. Our squad is that good, I think we'd have too much. I reckon, quite optimistic, but I reckon we'll win probably like 2-1. It'll be scrappy, but I think we'll win.
Yeah, I'm going to go for exactly the same 2-1, I think. I think it's going to be 2-1.
I don't know what Paul would say. Sorry, Paul. I would put in a prediction for him, but
no, I can't read
Paul cruising through GQ right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's just screaming. That's all I can hear.
What's it, Uri Geller, when he does the telepathically?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't he wish Uri Geller? He wished Michael Jackson happy birthday in the jungle on Celebrity Get Me Out of Here on the wrong day. So
he's a crank, isn't he? So that's what cranks do best, mate. So what about the weekend then? So the Saturday game?
Saturday, I think.
Yeah,
Saturday. At the weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry, lads.
Yeah, so what do you think then for that one? Do you think it'll be completely different score result?
I imagine, again, I'm going for a Liverpool win. I think we'll concede, but I think because there's even more even more of an onus on us to win this match because we haven't for a while. Another draw isn't really good enough. I think we'll go there. We'll be very attacking because they're the home side. Even though I think they'll be compact, there is an onus on them as well. Like their fans will want to see them come at us. If it was Anfield, I think it'd be more cagey. But I think we're going to get counter attacks, and again, I think we'll have too much, especially with Sturridge, knowing he probably won't start against Spartak Moscow. Salah, all our players, I think we'll just have too much. I think that'll actually be an even more handsome victory. I think we'll win 3-0.
Yeah, I think as long as we don't do any more defensive faux pas, I think it'll be a good game. I'm only going to go for 1-0.
1-0.
Because I think like we said, those last 2 games, the stats have been crazy. Like we've had so many shots, but we just can't really convert anything. Yeah, I think we're getting like narrower and narrower to like getting them in the net. But I think it's going to be one of them where it's going to be a hard game. They're kind of very robust team. And breaking them down is going to be pretty hard, I think. So it's probably going to be a moment of magic that wins us the game, I reckon. So what are your thoughts then? What do you think the score will be for both the games? So if you want, please put the comments in the comment section below. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks very much. Up the Reds.
Yeah, up the Reds, that's the one.